Welcome to another edition of Dan Frequently Asked Questions, in which divers have the opportunity to ask questions about diving, diving safety, diving medicine, and we like to give them what we hope is informed, specialized information. In this case, we have a diver who asks about their having Marfan Syndrome, M-A-R-F-A-N syndrome, and wanting to know whether or not it is safe for them to go diving. They have a very active lifestyle and they participate in all kinds of sports, and is there any concern related to this condition? I want to paint a bigger frame. Marfan syndrome or other conditions like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a genetic disorder in which the connective tissue is not as strong or as elastic as it is in ordinary normal individuals. People with Marfan syndrome are essentially tall with long arms, legs, fingers and toes that may be over flexible, and they may have scoliosis. Abraham Lincoln had Marfan syndrome. The dilemma is that there are some areas of the body that are subject to continuous stress, and if the person has underlying Marfan syndrome, these areas may dilate or they may cause problems, of which the following are the most important. There may be dilation and dissection of the aorta, which means a second area of or channel in the aorta eventually develops, which can result in rupture. The heart valves may start leaking. The heart may become weaker. The person may develop a pneumothorax because there's an association with blebs and Marfan syndrome. In fact, I myself had a patient with Marfan syndrome, and we went through them with a fine-tooth comb, with the exception of doing a high-resolution CT of the lung. This individual went diving to 15 meters in the Seychelles, and upon returning to the surface, developed arterial gas embolism. Fortunately, it was the first dive of the day, there wasn't a heavy gas burden, and the individual spontaneously recovered and didn't go for recompression. But this individual was very fortunate, and when they returned, we did a high-resolution CT, and we discovered that they had a bleb in the middle back area of the lung, which wouldn't even show up on a chest x-ray. And that's one of the reasons why with COVID we also now have some concerns about blebs and diving, and it'll probably still take a number of months, if not years, before we eventually have a conclusive way of determining whether a person should have additional tests such as high-resolution CT before returning to diving. So it's a very, very important question that individuals with Marfan syndrome would not necessarily be able to know that they are vulnerable to a diving-related injury, let alone the issues such as being more vulnerable to low temperatures and possibly taking medications with effects that would be incompatible with diving. So it's not a straightforward answer, but thank you very much for this question, and you're welcome to contact the Dan hotline, and they can refer this particular question to me, and I'd be happy to give you a little bit more detail and maybe some advice you could take to your physician. For the rest of you, until next time, safe diving.